It's April the 8th, 2016. I'm your host, Dana Durnford, the nuclear proctologist.org. And you can find these videos and Fukushima presentations throughout the entire internet. We are very proud and pleased, overjoyed to be able to say stuff like that. We encourage that. It's copyright free, everything I'm doing. And that this is season 3, episode 15. It's like season 4, episode 5,000 or something. But we've done 260 days on the ocean, 15,000 miles of the coastline. And so the episodes are far apart and everything else. And so Unit 3, MOX fuel, and I know there's a lot of confusion over that. And I kind of get that. And I should be more on the ball when I'm talking about stuff like that. Particularly explaining it for people to make sure everybody can kind of wrap their mind around it. And so yesterday we were talking about Unit 3, and I never get a chance to finish all the material I put together. I have so much, just an incredible amount. And because we cover a voracious amount of topics in a very short while, 1 hour period. This is Thomas Ackerman's painting before we left on the Beak expedition, where we had 4 people and we went out and started the really exploratory part of it with a boat. And that's an important picture. Today we're going to talk about Unit 3. I think I found a higher quality Unit 3. No, I got the wrong one there already. Nice start, Dina. Well, Unit 3 detonated. And this was what was left, basically. And this is supposed to be 720. We're streaming today. And 720 with the same bandwidth, but it should give us a little bit higher quality. I'll be recording it in 720, super high quality. That's a 100 gigabyte file for 1 hour. And I'll crunch that to a 1080, 4 gigabyte file. And then I'll upload that. It'll be very high quality, very good audio. And it looks like I lost my way already this morning. That's fine. That's because we had to set up. I've been working all day since yesterday, trying to get this up and running and organized and proper. And so, a little loud that time. I'll turn it back a little notch. I'm just watching my meter. Unit 3 is the one in the right-hand corner. And Unit 3 is the one in the middle. Now, the 3 reactors that you see in that picture there, the one on your left is Unit 2. That's now confirmed, all gone, 100% meltdown, melt through, melt out. The middle one is the same. As you can see, it's all gone. Everything's gone. The reactor cores that were stored on the roof are all gone. And that there's so much pollution, they got thousands and thousands of massive temporary containers that only meant to last for a year or two. And they picked up 30 million. That's 5. If you put one of them in the back of a pickup truck, that's 5 lanes of traffic around the planet. From 4 buildings. Now think about that. How could you get 30 million bags, 1-ton bags, that only meant to last a year, from 4 buildings? That's just significant, incredible. Well, what happened was number 3. This was mixed oxide fuel. And it's a painful process for people to understand, because I've been trying to convey in layman's terms the aspects and facets of it. And you'll hear me slurping away. You can sue me for slurping when you get around to it. And good morning, everybody. I didn't say good morning to everybody. Let's come over. Well, that works out. Let's shift me somewhere else. How about that way? That's not going to work very well. Dana. You got to get with the program. You're getting tiny, Dana. Where'd you go now? Okay. We kind of want to get the pictures below me in too at the same time that we got everything else going on. If I'm reading headlines, the pictures of the building before me gives you a lot of context. Right? That gives you context, yeah? Just like 30 million bags should give you context. Well, you're at 3. So let's come over and say hi. Good morning, everybody. So you can see this morning the quality's a lot different, I hope, on your end. I'm sure it's not going to be super high. Hang on. But it's definitely going to be a higher quality for the recording after that we post. Looking forward to that. Really high quality. I've been trying to do this for how many months now? 3 months. Trying to get this to work. It's endless every day. Every day is about a 1 hour stream. That's in my life. My whole life is about a 1 hour stream. Because that's how important the topic is. Good morning, Candace, Bruce, Terry Ann, Ping, Albert, Sparrow, Ackerman. There you go, bud. That was Thomas' painting I showed everybody at the beginning of it for the Expeditions for Life, which is a sad thing, right? And you'll find Thomas's link under my Beautiful Girl by Dana YouTube videos. Beautiful Girl by Dana on YouTube. Shanigan, illusion is over. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, painting it documents the efforts of the most important anti-nuclear activists ever. Thank you, Thomas. Hugs for you, my friend. But, like, the reality of it is, I don't exist without without every one of you folks that supported me, that are here rallying right now, that are worn down and worn out and brutalized and beaten down by a system that floods you with disinformation and misinformation. So E&E News, cold shutdown last night. I left a comment there. He said he was talking about, I'm more than willing to reconsider my estimates, which are only widely ballparked. In fact, I'm confused on the issue. Okay. First, let me repeat, the Becquerel count isn't any measure of biological danger. What? What planet did you just pop out of, man? You've been at this a long time. Even if all the radioactivity from all the radionuclides add up to 10,000 becquerels a cubic meter, it would only equal the background radiation. No, background radiation is normal, everyday, stupid, indigenous, harmless, retarded, idiotic, moronic. Normal, everyday background radiation is harmless. It don't mean nothing. But if you put another becquerel in there from man-made, it means something. That's why we're worried about dirty bombs. That's why we have nuclear waste sites. It means something. You don't need to get 10,001 man-made in an area with 10,000 to over-equal it. One becquerel of man-made is worse than 10,000 natural stuff. The natural stuff you can't accumulate anymore. It's homeostasis. Your body has a limited, as everything, your clothing, material, the potassium-40 in this is irrelevant. When you add man-made to it, no matter what isotope it is, out of the 12,000, okay, so it would only equal the background radiation. That's the biggest disinformation imaginable. So he swallowed a hook, line, and sinker, or he's a troll, one or the other. I suspect he's a troll myself, but I could be wrong, because you can't be that stupid after all the time he's put in there, I don't think. If you find, say, 10 becquerels a meter cube of 137, do you think you would find a total over 10,000 becquerels of total fallout? But you would find close to 12,000 becquerels for potassium. Potassium means nothing. It's nothing. It can't mutate a fruit fly. It's normal. It's not an emitter. It doesn't come from a chain reaction. It doesn't cause cancer. It's natural. Your body, if you eat bananas with potassium-40, your body equalizes and gets rid of the 12 becquerels you just consumed. It uses it up too, right? For lack of a better way to technically walk you through the jargons. So the cesium is dangerous at 10 becquerels a meter cube. No. An atom in your body, nuclear is the most carcinogenic thing on the planet. That's why you have terrorist laws. That's why we're worried about dirty bombs. That's why we have nuclear waste sites. That's why there's a big whoop over Yucca Mountain. But it's important I cover this. Again, he says, people, even scientists, look at the becquerel number and think that 10,000 becquerels is more dangerous than 10 becquerels. But we know this isn't the case, right? Since there are nearly 12,000 becquerels a meter cube in the ocean naturally. That's irrelevant. Natural stuff is irrelevant. So, and life did fine with this amount. That amount that's the max. That's the lowest and the maximum number the body can hold. That's what the body holds. Yeah, you can get deficiencies, but your body is emitting nothing. It's not going to mutate something. It's not dangerous. Every insect, every creature, everything we eat, everything we touch, everywhere we go, everywhere we sit, everything in every aspect of our life, potassium-40. It's irrelevant. We are in harmony with it through genetic superior selections. But that is the biggest lie of the nuclear industry. Oh, there's 10,000 becquerels of natural stuff in you. I don't know why you're worried about 10, because a single atom is attacked in your body. It sequesters in your organs, your muscles, your bones. That's important. Because what he's telling people there is completely, unimaginably right out of the PR handbook. 100%. And I disrespect him for doing it. He does it over and over and over and over. So there's a lot of people at E&E News. And people will go in and talk with them. Oh, I get it. They're the same ones that are supposed to be articulate and helping people coming to E&E News comment section looking for helpful tips. And they got to read through that nonsense, and then they come over and argue and fight and disregard the stuff I say. Oh, Dana, why are you worried about 10 becquerels? You got 10,000 naturally in your body. I seen it at E&E News. No, you didn't. You seen it in the comment section by a PR firm, most likely. I'm calling them out. MOX plutonium fuel used in Reactor 3, 2 million times more deadly than enriched uranium. Now, Dana, they only use 6%. Okay. Now, if I take a 6-gallon bucket, bear with me. I take a 6-gallon bucket, and I got, and I make wine. And the wine's around 6%. Now I add in 4 bottles of whiskey. Okay. That's a big difference, isn't it? Now, say I added in just a bottle of moonshine. Bigger difference again, isn't it? But now I added in moonshine that was triple, quadruple distilled. You know, like 4 bottles of that, say, for instance. Or 1 bottle of it, or half a bottle of it. Now when you drink 3 glasses of that wine, what happens to you? Now you get hammered. Where you would drink 8 glasses and you'd be sick and you have a headache in the morning, but you'd be okay. But when you added all that moonshine or any other kind of adjective to enhance it, it's like fracking, where they use depleted uranium that makes the explosive 8 times more powerful. Just a gram or so in a whole bunch of explosives. They sprinkle it through with all the explosives. Well, that's what they done with the mixed oxide fuel, the reclaimed plutonium uranium from Reactor 3 in Japan. The building below me that blew all of its reactor cores off the roof, atomized and aerosol it, and spread it all over the country, let alone all over the Fukushima prefecture site. So when you took missiles from silos that were 40 or 50 years old, and you put them through a chain reaction, already, right, to get the missiles, the nuclear missiles. Now they sat, and think about how wine sits there and ferments, or, you know, if you don't, when you're originally making it, how malt and everything else will ferment, right? That's how you make it. Well, nuclear, when you let that happen to it, it becomes unstable. It becomes more deadly. It becomes more oxidized. It becomes more volatile as time goes by, when it's in that form itself, where it's not down, what you call down blending it, right? That's the way they down blend plutonium, is to separate it so it's not in a package. Because when it's in a tight package like that, it's putting out neutrons and X-rays. And so that's not only bombarding all of the missile, the fissionable product, with neutrons and X-rays, that's what makes it so volatile. Because it already went through a chain reaction, had that done. But when you put it through a chain reaction again, after you reclaimed it through a very sophisticated enriching program, whereas like you took wine and you kept adding bottles of moonshine all day long. So 6% of that Now the fuel rods, each reactor has 4,840 assemblies. I can't remember the exact number if that's right. 4,800. It works out to 288,000 rods. Each rod is 12 feet long and 18 pounds. And each one of these rods, the 288,000, that you only got a 2-year lifespan at most, usually around 18 months, you put that up on the roof, 5 million pounds. Not 1,000 pounds, not 1,000 rods, 100,000 rods, but every 18 months, almost 300,000 rods. And that's 6 reactors, each doing that. Each one of them individually takes 5 million pounds, right? Over 5 million. But anyway, what the mixed oxide is you took this reclaimed uranium too, and plutonium. Now MOX will produce plutonium. Yeah, Dana, we're eating up the plutonium. Actually, you're producing plutonium, more dangerous plutonium, more of the more volatile daughters of the plutonium. And so when you take your fuel rods, which are all pellets, and you got mixed oxide, that's why they call it mixed oxide, because it's mixed in with this. And so this is putting out enormous energies. It's already gone through a chain reaction. And then it was reclaimed through sophisticated techniques and technologies where it become extraordinarily volatile. Then when you mix that throughout the fuel cycle, the 5 million pounds, and you switched it on, it was on for 6 months, I think. So that stuff in particular, at Unit 3, all of it is considered MOX fuel. Now, just not talking about the stuff that was on the roof, or the previous stuff that the reactor, the 5 million pounds every 18 to 2 years that it chews up, that is all stored on the site. That's 30 million pounds every 2 years. And it's 400 train car loads to get a gram. That's why they have to lie to you and tell us like a potato chip and a banana. Because 400 train cars are cannibalized of iron ore with chemicals. And then that's mixed with incredible amounts of water to get a gram, which is 1,000,000 watts. It's a pretty neat trick, but not as neat as trick as getting rid of 400 train car loads of chemicals and iron ore. And then unbelievable amount of water that they put in the slurries around the sites and allow to evaporate into the environment. Everything left is toxic sludge. Everything that evaporated is toxic air, is toxic particles and elements and atoms circulating through the environment, being liberated back into the environment. So mixed oxide fuel is when you blend it in reclaimed uranium, not just plutonium, see? Because people will confuse you and say, oh, they only got 6% plutonium in there. But they actually had a whole lot more of reclaimed uranium, the 235, the fissionable product, right? Because that's what they covet. But 238 is not a fissionable product, but 238 can be converted into plutonium, see? And plutonium is man-made. It's the most dangerous stuff on the planet. And we've covered the studies in Dr. Raymond Gilmedy from Loveless Respiratory Research Institute in New Mexico, who got 94 peer-reviewed studies of killing beagle dogs and beagle puppies with neptunium, plutonium, and americium, and curium. And curium is the biggest byproduct of the fuel rods. And there's 288,000 fuel rods per reactor per 2-year cycle max. And the reactors weren't running at super low cycle for 27 years. They were running at high peak cycles for 27 years to produce the wattage to give them street creds to get more reactors. They pushed them hard and they pushed them long. Yeah? And so every 2 years is 30 million pounds. But if you go look at the official numbers they talk about 100,000 rods, which is not enough to run a single reactor. So what happened to all the many years of production for 6 reactors? See? Right? And so plutonium is its own creature. Is what I'm saying to you. In camera 2, MOX plutonium fuel used in Fukushima reactor 2 million times more deadly than enriched uranium before it goes through a chain reaction. But the stuff that was in the mixed oxide fuel at reactor 3 had already went through a chain reaction 50 years ago. It was already 2 million times worse. You put it through a chain reaction again, it's another couple of million. But it's actually more than that because it's reclaimed uranium and plutonium. It's not like you took it out and put it in a chain reaction again. You reclaimed it, put a sophisticated system, and then you blended it. And now this stuff is outputting power that if you sat down in a chair or Geiger counter that measures it coming out of your body, you probably break it. Now this also material, because there was 5 million pounds in that reactor, so there was also, that would explain why we're seeing the black mold, which is 1 million becquerels a kilogram or a square meter on the surface, throughout northern Japan, from Tokyo at least, all the way to northern Japan. And all the food in all of northern Japan from Tokyo, including Tokyo, is banned in most countries, but not all countries. So yeah, you can get it from different countries, but if you look at the whole province, it's all banned when you look at the world, because the world doesn't see the whole picture. They just find out that there's a lot of radiation in that prefecture, this prefecture, so they banned it there. But they didn't go down the rabbit hole and look at the whole country like we done. And we covered 9,000 headlines before we went on the ocean on the Fukushima Expeditions for Life. And so that's why I had to do another stream a day, because there's so much involved in the Unit 3. So many aspects of it. So hang on. What about the plutonium MOX? The media tells us the things are looking much better now in regards to Japan. This was March the 25th. This is basically apologist, but does tell some truth. And so the media tells us things are looking, yeah, there's something bothering us in London which makes it difficult. Hang on. What does the smoke and vapor being emitted from the plant actually contain? So that's an important one. Right, that's important. Dan, I can move yourself over. It's just because I spun. Let me fix that for everybody. I'll just move myself over a little tiny bit. So do you think a little bit got out of there? Or do you think it's all gone? Huh? That's why they got 30 million bags. That's why there's that black, crazy mass murdering stuff all over the country. To your left is Unit 3. There's Unit 3. Fukushima iodine is a tracer, and so that meant there was 10 times more iodine 132, 30 times more iodine 133, 31 times more iodine 129. That's what that means to anybody who knows anything about this. And then you had the Norwegian Institute for Research showing a plume right across the country. Northern Hemisphere during a relatively short period of time. Yeah, because it only takes 3 days because the jet streams are real. And because the hotter the detonation, the hotter, like a forest fire, a big forest fire will send plumes further because there's more heat. There's Unit 3. There's no fuel pool, no reactor left. It's all gone. See? Right? These were serious nuclear detonations. These were events. Let's come back for a second, though. What if one of the elements being discharged is plutonium? What if all of the elements are being discharged are a mixed oxide contaminant? Because there was plutonium in all the reactors, right? And at least 1, 2, 3, and 4 that we know about, around 500 kilograms in each of it. The implications of that is mixed oxide in all of them. And so this is why I advocate all the particles, in one sense, from Fukushima are hot particles, because we got that documentation. That is exactly what was going on. Reactor 3, your third sentence down. And MOX is far more dangerous than uranium. MOX is 2 million times more deadly than normal enriched uranium. 2 million times. It's 2 million times worse than any other reactor on the planet. That's what that means. That's what the headlines were for the first couple of weeks. You notice they purged that off the internet. But for the first couple of weeks, even a couple of months, there was huge debates in Fox and CNN and MSNBC. Not debates, but conversations about MOX being 2 million times worse than any current reactor on the planet, which is the interpretation of the pundits from the documentation that we're showing you here. Workers were evacuated from the nuclear plant after smoke appeared at Reactor 3. Mixed oxide. Because you walk through a plume of that, it's game over, and it was. No radiation spike has been detected on the so the common assumption is all is fine. That all is fine. Nothing was detected, eh? You believe these people? No, nothing detected. Meanwhile, this is a plume based up on a man-made release from Unit 2 that didn't look like Unit 3. Right? That still looked like it was intact. But this was a 2-day release from that reactor. But that release you're looking at covered North America right across the Pacific Ocean, heading over to another country. That reactor was not based upon this building. That model was not based upon this building. Why not? The models have never been based upon the reactors at Fukushima. So Japan was hit by a 9.0 earthquake. We watched the roads cracking in Japan, in Tokyo. We watched the road lifting up and down. We watched the media come out in Japan and report on the damage throughout Japan. There was a couple of thousand buildings, 100,000 buildings destroyed. Roads were picked up and destroyed. Bridges were destroyed. The whole country was destroyed. This lasted 6 minutes, and that it would hit the country at 9,000 miles per hour. It rocked the country for 6 minutes at 1 to 3 G forces. The tsunami came in at 600 miles an hour, and it wiped out most of the coastline. And so people died throughout that coastline because the tsunami came through and ripped them apart, right? And if you want some more stuff on the tsunami, I'll bring up some more stuff on the tsunami. Because the tsunami, that whole country, this is as it's showing up and coming in, now it's starting to sweep boats apart, right? But no, this was an apocalyptic hell, no matter how you try to look at it. If you were one of the children or family members in another country looking at that, you would have been terrified. But what about you were the millions of people directly affected by that? And then all the telephone poles, the entire country was washed away. The entire country was wrecked from one end right to the other end, yeah? Completely annihilated. Just ask her. There was over 300 police officers doing that job, died of heart attacks and renal failure, liver failure, kidney failure, gland failure. This is probably the most frightening picture imaginable, besides that girl by herself. That always haunts me, that one. That one there, that haunts me. And the very day I saw it, till even today, many years later, it still haunts me every time I look at it. And that should haunt you. I can assure you, that haunted the person that painted this picture. Haunts the family of those 300 police officers. It haunts everybody that was sitting on a roof that night looking at that. And it haunts me looking at that. What you're looking at is 6 million times Chernobyl. It's as simple as that. But we're not counting the fuel pools full of reactor cores every 18 months, 5 million pounds. That was on the roof of the building that don't exist no more. And that Chernobyl is insignificant. Even though Chernobyl was horrible, it was terrible, it was unimaginable, it's still and will be till the end of our human experience be unimaginable. There's 3 million children, according to Kofi Annan, with permanent disabilities because of Chernobyl. But Chernobyl was graphite. Graphite is totally different than what we see going on here. What we see going on here, the mixed oxide fuel, is a highly volatile fuel. The plutonium is a gas when it's exposed to the environment. You don't need a detonation. A detonation doesn't hurt. But when you blend it throughout 5 million pounds in pellets, you irradiated everything by proxy. That's what makes this stuff, that's why they were doing what they were doing. They changed the shroud on it so it can burn. But plutonium can burn 150,000 times hotter and did. And so the way everything that was on the roof was engulfed and either melted down, the majority of it could have hopefully melted down into the earth. And I say that lightheartedly. And it's better than aerosoling and atomizing, ionizing and radiating everything it comes into contact with till the end of time. And there's so much, there's such a big volume. It's such a See, man-made per gram is 88 times 37 billion killer atoms. Each one of them can kill you, but it might take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years to show up for cancers. That's the mouse in the room. There's 1,800 diseases can show up and will show up once you got the atom inside of you. But you can eat bananas every day and get potassium in everything you're eating. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to bioaccumulate in you. It's not going to manifest into tumors or diseases or autoimmune deficiencies. But all the man-made stuff from the studies, Dr. Raymond Gilmedy, who killed beagle dogs and beagle puppies for 35 years, they never once in 94 peer-reviewed studies tried to cure the cancers, and that they killed all the dogs within 5 years in every study. He's one of thousands of institutions utilizing dogs and puppies and animals for man-made radiation studies for 70 years that we know about. Have you never tried to cure cancer a single time? Ever. And their idea of curing it is a sick, pathetic mass murdering scheme known as chemotherapy. Anybody gives their chemotherapy to their loved ones, that's murder. You might not understand it, and you might not agree with what I'm telling you because you don't understand it. But that's why we have terrorist laws. That's why we have nuclear waste sites, not to put it in your loved ones' bodies. That's stupid and idiotic and mass murder on a grand scale in every hospital throughout Canada. They do that to people. They'll take your children away from you to give them chemotherapy. That's how powerful the nuclear industry really truly is. They can kill your children, and they do. If you're going to get chemotherapy, you've got to sign a waiver, though. To sign away your life that if you die during these experimental treatments. Now, everything that comes out of that reactor you're looking at is mixed oxide fuel. It's all blended together. That's the point C of the plutonium, right? That's why they got to change the shrouds on these places because they get so hot. I'm going to have a cigarette. It doesn't have 7,000 chemicals. But for 50 years, everybody's been telling you in all the institutions and media, nicotine gives you cancer. But not once has they got a study that does that. But they ignore the 7,000 chemicals. See, they don't take a cigarette, remove the 7,000 chemicals and do a study on the nicotine. They get nicotine from natural tobacco. That's what I'm smoking right now. If you don't like it, you can fuck off. Go away. I don't care about you. If you can't look past me having a cigarette without 7,000 chemicals, get the fuck off my channel. I got no time for people like you. I look past all of your flaws to try to help you, but you can't look past any of my flaws. And in fact, you go the opposite and use it to demonize me and ridicule me. Not even talk about the 7,000 chemicals. Just stick a comment in didn't smoke and I can't trust him. And never bother mention the 7,000 chemicals that got me addicted originally, that no one bothered telling me about, that no media has ever told you about. And that over the last couple of years, we've seen the advertisement from organizations showing studies that there's 7,000 chemicals in your cigarette. You can't trust your media, and you can't trust your universities. You can't trust your institutions. That is shocking on its own, see? That is hopelessly shocking. And that is maniacally depressing. Because they got access to our loved ones and our friends and our families through the media. Your institutions do. And that your children go to these institutions where if they're willing to lie to you about something like this, they're willing to rape and molest and destroy your children. Don't think they won't. Because that's why they got the job in the first place, is because they're soulless and heartless. That's why they work at a university. Because they're willing to bow down when called upon. When there's an accident, they're willing to come out and make a lie true. Because, I'm a professor, why would I lie to you? It's done in every university, in literally every democratic country. If that's not the utter betrayal, I don't know what is. You cannot trust a university. You're an idiot, a moron if you trust your university. You're a hopeless dummy. There is no hope for you if you trust your university and your institutions. If you when there's an accident, if you go to them for news, they might tell you the truth originally, a little bit. Then they'll roll it to banana peddlers and the potato chip peddlers. And the voodoo peddlers from the media won't have another narrative there to cross-examine them. Nobody will ever have another narrative, only bananas and potato chips and walking in the sunshine wherever they give a lecture. They won't get on a stage or get on the media or get in a radio fight or a TV or a Twitter battle with anybody that calls them out. That's James Hansen. That's disgusting. He's a disgusting maggot and a parasite upon our society. And that's what 350.org is. They're able to rally thousands of universities to advocate for nuclear, to get rid of coal, gas, and fuel, oil, saying, oh, it's going to destroy the planet when nuclear is guaranteed. Has already wrecked the Pacific Ocean, killed the Pacific Ocean. It's killed the Pacific Ocean. We've done 260 days on the coastline. 5 months without coming home. On the ocean. 15,000 miles is up at the nuclear proctologist. If I can find it. That's not it, I can assure you. Sometimes I don't know who the hell I am. Hang on. nuclearproctologist.org. Like, I can't go through a couple 100,000 pictures on my site when I'm live streaming. Live streaming is about, that camera there, live streaming is about engaging a population that is out there right now looking for more information, and about building a community of people that are knowledgeable and able to go out and do battle, about educating journalists and scientists that there's another way forward. And anything, you can burn car tires in your house, is still better than having a nuclear plant next door to you. I'm not kidding you. It's safer. It's not safe, but it's safer than having nuclear anywhere on your planet. Everything comes out of a chain reaction. Is not created by the sun. It's created by a chain reaction. Everything. Everything. They call it names that are similar because it has similar atomic numbers, similar makeup, but it's not the same element. We made it in a chain reaction that has its own atomic weight. And if it does match up to one in nature, it's still ionized and radiated atoms. Isotopes, rather, in the atom. See, that's the problem. That's why we have terrorist laws. That's why we have nuclear waste sites. That's why we have the puke machine out there talking about potassium-40 and 10,000 counts per minute in the human body. Don't worry about 10 from Fukushima. You already got 10,000 in your body. Yeah, that'll never change though. The minute I get one from Fukushima, I got 10,001. If I got 7,000 in a becquerel, if I got 7,000 in a liter, lucky for you, I don't have that imported yet. Tritium, 3H, which is man-made in the Canadian Drinking Water Standards now. Now I got 10,700. Drink another liter, I got 10,000, 11,400. Drink another liter, I got 12,100. Now the numbers are going up because I'm consuming man-made. But if I just eat a banana every day, I stay the same. If I eat the normal food I eat every day without the contamination from Fukushima or man-made, the numbers will always be 10,000. But those 10,000 don't matter. You can't make a dirty bomb by blowing me up, you fucking morons. Idiots. Idiotic, stupid, moronic, potato chip peddlers walking in the sunshine, getting on an airplane. These are fucking disgusting maggots. They got an education and know better. People that say that, you got to get in their fucking face. You got to call them out. That's your job. That's your obligation. You were made for it. Send me your address, I'll send you a certificate. You passed the nuclear proctologist banana peddler course. Send me another $1 and I'll tell you if you're gullible. 7,000 chemicals in a cigarette. I smoke one without 7,000 chemicals. Can't listen to Danny smoke cigarettes. Oh, let me come back to that one more time because I digressed all over the fucking place. Camera toe. The precise contents of the smoke and vapor of Reactor 3 and other reactors are as yet unknown. They're man-made ionizing radioactive material. They're well known. They're well studied. In fact, the man-made stuff is more studied than the natural stuff. on this planet. Because there's more of it. And there's no money in studying natural stuff unless you're trying to discover a new emitter to confuse people with. Like potassium-40, rubidium, radon, natural uranium. Is completely different than enriched uranium, where you took 400 train cars, doused it with incredible amounts of chemicals, and mixed that up with water to create even bigger mess to get a gram. And you need 5 million pounds in a reactor to run the fucking thing. Oh, it's green, clean, green, too cheap to fucking meter, Dana. You got 15,000 abandoned mines in Navajo. What planet are you from? Oh, Dana was swearing, I'm going to run away now. Can't trust him, he's swearing. Can't trust him, he's not Christian enough. Can't trust him, he doesn't work at a university. You can't trust him. Blah, 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 blah. No radiation spike has been detected, so the common assumption is that all is fine. No, the common assumption is that the nuclear PR firms are out there in full fucking steam, lying, deceiving, manipulating, mass murdering everybody out there on the drop of a fucking hat. That's what that means. That means the nuclear industry and its apologists and its pundits and its magazines and just the blogs and think about. Alright, that didn't work out the way it was supposed to. If you couldn't see radiation, if you could see radiation, no matter where you're to or what you're looking at, you would just, like, if you're looking at each other, this is what you would see. If you were lucky, you could see it all, because there's so much of it come out of these reactors, because they create such a friggin' volume. Right, that's the problem, isn't it? Hang on, I screwed that up. I wasn't paying attention. Dana Durnford, nuclearproctologist.org, at livestream.com, and beautiful girl boy Dana on YouTube. Take a screen capture and email it to everybody you know. Take a screen capture and email it to every newspaper. Take a screen capture, put it up on Google or Bing or wherever, or Facebook, and then go ahead and link that to everybody, and you click on that picture, link it over to my site. We need a revolution of people sharing information, because they can't control us all. They can control the few that is doing it, but they can't control us all if we all start doing it. So ultimately, that's what the way forward. 3 full meltdowns, complete loss to 4 full pools, and full pools are used reactors. They're used reactors. They don't stop being reactors because you put them in a pool. And there was 9 million pounds in a common pool that they emit to. Now they claim there's nothing there, and that there was never nothing there. And we have the depth of the Pacific Ocean. That's not a game. You go over to the nuclearproctologist.org, and you see that everything I'm saying to you is true. So Unit 3, the tsunami in Japan killed people. The squares you're looking at, the bigger the square, corresponding red square with the red number is the more people that died. And so the yellow numbers are people that are missing. Now that happened in the same spot, 400 miles of that coastline. Look at it again. Now 400 miles of the coastline, look where all the plants are to. Now 15 reactors in areas affected by the 3/11 quake. And that 14 reactors at 4 sites, different sites, not 4 reactor buildings, but 4 sites. But Fukushima governor strongly demands TEPCO decommission and dismantle. Wait, what's that? 10 nuclear reactors? Well, Fukushima only got 6. That's the third one on your right-hand side from the top, with 6 reactors. The dining is only 10 miles away. Remember, Fukushima looked like that. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. And just a quick one. You had Norwegian Institute for Research, looking like that. You had the Urad project, looking like that. That's the fallout over North America, folks. You got France, IRSN, fallout over North America, major, massive, incredible, unconceivable amount, not potassium-40, but incredible amounts of. The Norwegian Institute had to end it because they were under so much pressure from the Norwegian Institute. But just because they ended, does that mean the plume stopped? The plume stretched all the way across the Pacific Ocean, all the way across the continents. And so, therefore, think about it as a snowstorm that is right across the Pacific Ocean, the entire Pacific Ocean, the entire continent of North America at the one time is under an enormous snowstorm, even though you can't see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, feel it, pick it up, or throw rocks at it. Well, that's why 20 million particles of radioactive iodine, but that's a tracer. There was 10 times more 132, 30 times more 133, 31 more times 129 with a 15 million year ionizing radiating half-life. See, because it comes from a chain reaction. It's not like the stuff from nature, which is similarly named and similarly atomically numbered. Everything comes out of a chain reaction is a dirty bomb. So everything. There is nothing benign or innocuous coming from a chain reaction. See, absorbed radiation doses 132 was 10 times higher. It ionizes and radiates your thyroid glands 9 times more effectively. 133, there was 30 times more of that than 131. Same here in North America, same in every other Pacific Rim nation affected by it, and this entire planet. Wherever iodine showed up, there was 31 times more, or 30 times more 133, and 31 times more 129. By March 21st, 5 nuclear isotopes were identified in Seattle. Everybody in Seattle was breathing 10 hot radioactive particles a day every day. Everybody was. Water from Fukushima reactor will be released in the ocean after being purified. You can't purify the water. It can't be done. See? Average person in Seattle breathed in 10 hot radioactive particles a day during April. Lethal threat from Fukushima highly radioactive water flown in the Pacific Ocean. This is April the 5th, 2013, being warned about it, and everybody makes fun of anybody that warns anybody about it. That's the nuclear industry. That's what makes them so disgusting. They're so cold-hearted and so emotionless. Is they just don't fucking care. They just don't care. They're soulless, spineless morons that know exactly what they're doing. They get a paycheck for doing it. Nuclear radiation is the most carcinogenic thing that exists on the entire fucking planet. And there was 1,500 atoms of the sulfur peroxide hydrogen buckyballs in the California air. So you're walking down the road, you're surrounded by a square meter air. Oops! 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the road, that's a cancer. If you can hold your breath and run all the way home and hide away and you had perfect environment, you're still fucked. And cancers are the last ones to show up. There's 1,800 diseases. Alzheimer's, dementia, autism passed on to your children long before cancer will show up. Your diabetes will show up in mass. Leukemias will show up long before other cancers. It's because you got so much sequestered into your muscles or your bones from strontium and plutonium and americium, neptunium, because they act like calcium, right? And then they migrate into your bones to the same venues that the normal helpful stuff would go. Like normal calcium, like normally when you eat organic corn on the cob, you're getting 6,200 parts per million of calcium. And then you're getting 5,000 parts per million of potassium. It's good for you. Your body regulates it. You can't get any more in you than you need anyway, see? We're genetically superiorly selected because we're designed to live in harmony with natural stuff. So when anybody talks about natural, you want to haul a fucking big chunk of their hair out of their head. If they got an education, they know better. That's all I'm saying. You want to yell at them by doing that. That's how you do it to them. You make them haul their own chunks of hair out by yelling at them. All I'm saying. All right? Don't send the police by and arrest me again. Still got 2 court dates coming up. These guys will bankrupt the entire planet before they give an inch. Let's jump back into some of those headlines. The U.S. West Coast bore a significant brunt of hot particles from Fukushima. Yeah, because the jet streams are real. I'm going to speed that up a bit here in a second. Ocean currents are real. This is the 17th of March. The 18th of March, boom! There's the Pacific coastline. By the 19th to 20th of March, everything that's hitting the mountains, not all of it, but a majority of it is washing back down through your lakes and rivers and estuaries and communities back down to the coastline. By the 22nd of March, this is only based upon a couple of days releases from a single reactor that was vented. It's not based upon the detonations. It's not based upon the meltdowns. It's not based upon the reactor cores of 5 million pounds in each core. Every 2 years they put it up on the roof for 10 years. No. Same as this model. It's only based upon, it's just based upon a couple of days releases from a single reactor. It's not based upon any real data. But anyway, all the isotopes were found, right? See, the iodine and the cesium are tracers. They're just tracers, moronic tracers. I don't care about them. Curium, I'm worried about the curium. But what they are, they're tracers, so they told me the curium showed up. They told me the plutonium showed up. They told me the uranium showed up. They told me the other 12,000 isotopes showed up, even though the majority of them are classified. It doesn't mean they don't exist. Just because I can't talk about them because I'm not able to find the literature on them. Does that mean they don't exist because it's classified? Because that's what people want you to believe. Health Canada alluding to 300 times background levels. You got any idea how much that actually is? Now you got to multiply that by iodine 129. They did. It was 220 million becquerels. You reported there last 4 weeks ago or so. 220 million becquerels of iodine 129 per liter of rainwater in British Columbia, Canada, shortly after Fukushima. That didn't stop coming out of there. The initial plume was big, sure, because millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and tens of millions of pounds had detonated. Around 300 million pounds is missing. 300 million. That's just 20-year cycle at Fukushima Prefecture. That's not counting the other two reactors or the common spent fuel pools where they only claim there's 9 million pounds. Where did they put all this stuff to? Well, they did what every other nuclear plant does. They store it on site. And so when the tsunami came through, it took it out into the ocean. That's why they cemented the ocean floor in front of the reactors. Right? Spent a whole year out there pouring cement on the ocean floor because all the fuel rods and everything got swept out right in front. California iodine 131, probably double or triple. I don't even care about the iodine, but the fact that is so underreported meant there was so much more of the other thousands of radioactive isotopes that came through. Now, don't it? That rained out and continued to rain out. And that it was only one plume that hit the atmosphere, the upper and lower troposphere, it would take over a decade for a single plume to rain out. And not a big plume at that. See, a gram of it produces more atoms than every grain of sand on every beach on the planet. What the frig does 5 million pounds per reactor and 5 million pounds every 2 years in the fuel pool mean? I wonder. 300 times more radiation released in the atmosphere from burning debris than claimed by the government. Because the government only lies. It does nothing that you want it to do. It never done anything for you your entire life. The structure was already put there before they showed up. And they had to maintain it because they don't want to be hitting potholes themselves. That's the only reason they fix anything, because they don't want to be dealing with it themselves. Is the government trying to contaminate every region in Japan by burning radioactive debris? They're burning it in the incinerators throughout the freaking country. 24 hours a day, 300,000 becquerels a kilogram. That's a dirty bomb. It's a fucking dirty bomb. It's okay for them to do it, but we got to lose all our rights because the terrorists might do it. Like the media and your universities are mentally fucking ill. They're the stupidest things imaginable. Like, because they got no conscience, they got no soul, they got no heart, but they got an education. And they got degree after degree after degree in how to present information as a public relation. Their whole career is based upon, they got a degree in one thing, but the rest of their accolades are for public relations. They got the job because they got all those accolades so they can handle the task given to them to cover up for corporations. They got corporate personhood, and they need to cover up their misdeeds or their screw-ups because nobody can go to jail. So they got to cover up the damage. Is all they got to do. So thousands and thousands of the stupidest people on the planet, that's people who work at public relation firms. They're murderers. And they're soulless and spineless and heartless. They're emotionless. They're droids. They're dummies. They're human robots. In every sense of the word, they will kill you. Tell a robot to kill you, and the robot's not programmed properly, like a PR firm or a nuclear scientist or a pro-nuclear or 350.org or James Hansen or James Colbert or University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, or the judge who said I couldn't use bananas and say that that's wrong, it's homeostasis. No, David, science is settled. My last court appearance. The media demonizes me throughout the country, accuse me of death threat I'm charged with, criminal harassment and nuclear pukes that deserve it, and that I'm not going to be giving it up anytime soon or in my entire life. Put me in jail for all I care. This planet will wake up a lot quicker. That's how I see it. You're doing me a favor and the planet a favor. I'm not saying I want to go to jail. I'm just saying you're doing the planet a favor. Fukushima will start burning radioactive waste 100,000 becquerels. We're almost through it. 5 pets die in one household. 5 pets in a couple of hours. No, it's fine, Dana. It's like a banana. It's like potassium 40, Dana. Everybody got it in them, Dana. A little bit more is not going to hurt, Dana. I break a piece of fucking rebar on your head. It might hurt. I bet. It is abnormal for sure. Yeah, they're burning it in the incinerators, right? Japan going to burn plutonium. They got the incinerators right at the Fukushima power plant, 24 hours a day. And guess what they're doing? They're burning that shit, aren't they? What do you think? They're only going to burn building material and clothing at Fukushima Prefecture? Are you that fucking gullible? 170 microsievers. Give us becquerels, morons. 14 prefectures in Japan due to Fukushima radionuclides. That's 2013. Remember, Hillary Clinton, what Hillary Clinton done to you? She signed an agreement they weren't going to check the food for the first couple of years, didn't she? No, Dana, that's fine, Dana. Look at it. I think you should just fire it back up, Dana. Okay, that's all we got today. I'm starting to get pissy. A little angry. That's not cool. Or maybe it is. It's just human nature. How can I not get upset? How can I not be indignant? How can you not be indignant that they told you it was like a banana and a potato chip and walking in the sunshine? For how long? For how many years? Because it's like a banana? No. And then you go to another radio station where worried terrorists might get their hands on some of it. Get back on another radio station. I don't know what everybody's concerned about. They had a little leak there, but it's like a banana. It's completely harmless. It's not going to hurt the environment or anybody else. Next morning, you see them on another radio station. Yeah, rumors is terrorists were planning on breaking in the nuclear power plant. We got to beef up security at them all. It's going to cost hundreds of billions of dollars, but we got to do it. We got a lot of stuff there. We got nowhere to put it. Get on another radio station the next day. Yeah, hi, kids. Nuclear is green, clean, and too cheap to meter. You get your mommy and daddy and report them if they're using gas and wasting it. Boom! I fucking hate everything about all you people. You are the most maniacal, twisted, manipulative creatures on the planet. You do nothing for society, only lie. Your entire industry, the nuclear industry, is predicated upon bananas and potato chips and walking in sunshine. Fucking fantasy in all your media and all your movies and all your Hollywood and all your blogs, like mainstream blogs that are carried by mainstream, this is the rhetoric you cannot escape. They won't give it up for a second. You'll never have another narrative there saying, hey, wait a second. Why did you say terrorists are going to get it and then tell the other crew it's like a banana? Why did you do that? Bang. Someday somebody's going to do that. Somebody's just going to freak out. Say, I can't lie no more. And smash their microphone on the desk and get up and say, I quit. It's a lie. It's a big fabrication. You can't lie anymore. I just had to take my last child down for her last chemotherapy, and she died. And I got to get her, or they'll fire me this morning. Because they're heartless, they're soulless. Because that's the nuclear industry. That's the nuclear industry. Your children, your friends, and your loved ones go into a hospital and they don't come out because they squirt them with man-made ionizing radioactive chemicals called chemotherapy. And they sign a waiver saying you can stick up their ears, kill them, you still can't sue them. Before they'll give you that chemotherapy, because it'll kill. Only 2% of the people getting chemotherapy survive any longer. Why the fuck is your universities? Why the hell are your institutions? Why the fuck are everybody taking their children there and doing it? Because the government is captured and it'll go take your child and go kill him if you don't let the doctors do it. Hugs for everybody. Elaine says her Geiger counter goes higher when she puts it down by her foot. It's crazy, eh? And that's madness. Bruce, Kay, Ellie, Albert, Candice, Shanikin, Alex Bershaw, Kay, Paul, White Sparrow. Hugs for everybody. I don't get everybody, I know. I try Amthurst is out there somewhere. And everybody else, Jan Brooks is out there. Always working hard. So is everybody else. Kevin Blanche never stops. Thomas Ackerman. And I'll put a higher quality up at A Beautiful Girl by Dana when the stream is over. I didn't bring everybody up to say goodbye to them. I'm over there scrolling away, looking at the camera. There it goes. We're gone. Just like that. Hugs for everybody. It was a good stream today. I kind of freaked out a few times. And by the way, anybody, we still ain't raising any money this week, and that's okay. And it takes time for money to transfer on top of that, I know that. But I have to raise money all the time for the next number of years to get the equipment and to do the things we got to do and to keep pushing back the way we're pushing back. Donate anything or anything is fine, see? And if enough people do it, I won't have to ask no more. Donate at PayPal. You'll find links under My Beautiful Girl by Dana on YouTube channel. And also for the Fukushima Hounds for Kate. Kate needs help. She's never asked for anything, but I'm going to start pushing her out there and get her some much deserved help. She's been volunteering with that website, and that helped us dramatically accomplish our goal of the Fukushima Expeditions for Life along the British Columbia coastline. That shows an extinction event playing out. We say hugs for everybody. We'll see everybody on Monday. I don't know, I'm probably going to sleep all weekend again. I'm probably not going to get out on the boat. I'm burnt out. I will try, though, hopefully. We got to get more documentation. We'll do a bird count. We'll see everybody on the rebound. Take care. Hugs, everybody. We'll see you soon.